Wow, we should be live
And
for
we are go
yes. Hurry
for
up,
episode
Sunday
27
7 or
or
8.
8. We'll find out later.
Yeah. Um, it's a very we're doing a very early 50th episode special.
Yeah.
just a practice run. Um, yeah.
But yeah, so how's the COVID and stuff there?
Um, well, it's nightmarish. No, but
Yeah. Uh,
it's on the better side of it now. So
oh, it's coming down.
sorry for eating. Where we were at 9 to 10,000 cases a day, and now we are down to six
Whoa.
thousand cases a day, with recovery rates at
Hmm.
a higher rate than what we're getting new cases. So it's like 7,000
Oh, that's
recovering,
so the
six
peak.
thousand catching.
Yeah,
So the active total is reducing now. Um,
yeah. So the lockdown's kind of taken effect and
oh man, we
kind of
went
put
out
us.
today. We went outside to the like one of the main shopping centers, and it was dead there. It was just completely
Yeah.
completely void of people, which was, yeah, like, it's sad because we've just been in lockdown for so long. um, but it's good because it means that everyone's staying at home, and there's less chance of transmission. So
Yeah.
that's the reason why the cases are going down, and it's working.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of hate on lockdowns I see online and stuff. Um, but I don't know, they've been highly effective in Australia. Like the tracing, like so the lockdown and then the tracing
Yeah,
and then the testing, and they pretty much catch everyone that they need to.
yeah,
And sometimes another cluster will appear and they do the same program and eventually they get 100% and then it goes away. And it's like so like Melbourne's coming out of lockdown after like a week now, even though they had 11 cases.
oh,
Um, which is
yeah,
quite high for Darwin at the moment. For Australia, I mean.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, Melbourne came out of lockdown within like a week.
Yeah, I saw
So,
the last report they said on was, yes, there was a bunch of new cases, but it was identified where it was all gathered, and it was
mm,
all like from a local cluster. It wasn't like a shopping
yeah,
center and then just another person. It was all like, oh, these all people
yeah,
all in the one area,
yeah, exactly.
which
And
is good. Mm,
that's what's really important. And
mm.
it only works because they lock it down. Because it's like if they didn't lock it down, then you're just gonna get more of these people mixing, and you're gonna end up with all these unknown cases, unknown case.
Uh,
Like lockdowns only work if everyone follows it and everyone does it.
yeah. So what you're saying is you're an advocate for socialism now, that we all need to obey everything the government does, and
I mean,
they are the supreme power.
I'm all for like I think their idea of like putting cameras in every room is really good because then the
Yeah, I've actually
hear
had
me
one.
out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Even
this
if
is
we
an
do
actual
anything
thing.
illegal,
Oh,
no.
no, 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 no. I
It,
want to
it
hear this camera in every room thing. So go on.
well, see, because then if you do anything illegal in your house,
Yeah.
you can they can just like auto lock your doors,
Oh yeah,
and then the police will come,
yeah, yeah.
and then it's kind of like they jail you in your house for a certain amount of time.
Oh, that makes sense. You just get delivery orders come in. You're not really a burden on
Yeah,
society. Yeah.
yeah, they like ship in like prison rapists every so often.
Oh yeah. Just so you get the full experience. Bing bong. Yes.
Oh, Sydney again.
Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, strangely on that, I've had a camera installed in my toilet for quite some time. You'd be surprised who watches that now.
Yeah, it's been a real money earner.
Yeah, that's right. You know, you can get paid just to go to the loo.
Yeah, in the toilet, looking up.
Oh dear. Um, yeah. No, it's look, I'll be much happier here when the cases are less than 1,000. Um,
Yeah,
because yeah, I mean, if I want to travel, there's like you kind of want low sets of numbers just to reduce the risk of any actual catching the disease before we get on a plane. But
Or even on the plane.
yeah, or on the plane. But
Do you have to get tested before you get on the plane?
3 days beforehand, yeah. But
That's
within
good.
3 days of going, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's good. Yeah.
yeah, you can't get on with a positive test for sure. And
No,
then,
that's awesome.
but they have, what is it? They're doing about 100,000 vaccinations per day here, 120,000, something like that.
Yeah.
And they're ramping it up to try and get up to about 200,000 a day by the end of this month. So they're rolling it out. I think they've got something like 10.4 or 14 or somewhere between those numbers of actual vaccinations here. So
That's pretty impressive.
yeah, they're pumping it out now. And I know most people who are vulnerable and so on have been vaccinated. And there is, what are they talking about? They were calling it the vaccination cluster, because our numbers spiked so high that people kind of who were umming and ahhing about whether they'll take the AstraZeneca one or not, whatever, they all rushed in to go and get it. And so the vaccine centers were just flooded with people not practicing all the social distancing stuff. And so they're like, all these people are just going to end up catching COVID now because they're all on top of each other there. But I mean, they will be getting the vaccine, so maybe that works.
Yeah, well, interesting. They said that they've come out with a few studies now saying that if you've had COVID, it's pretty much the same as having the vaccine. So initially they wanted to vaccinate you anyway, but it actually gives you an increased chance of having something bad happen.
Wait, what?
Like if you've already had COVID,
Yeah.
and then you get vaccinated,
Yeah.
it gives you an increased chance of having like a stronger reaction, like a negative side effect from the vaccine.
So
I'm not sure if it's because they've already got the antibodies there and it immediately like overreacts or something, but it's it was some study I was reading like either yesterday or the day before.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I saw that WA is coming out with Pfizer available for people aged 39 and over or something, 39 to 50.
Yeah,
So
they just allowed it here. So I actually went to get my first jab, and it was booked out till the 30th, and then we're going to be on holidays, so I won't be back for another 2 weeks after that. So I'll have to book it like just before we leave, so it'll be ready for when we get back.
Right. So no hotline to Bill Gates through the microchip for a while yet.
No, I won't be able to get Wi-Fi. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, but I mean, you also won't be slowed down by regular updates either. So
Yeah, that's true. It's like, why aren't you moving, Dad? Updating at the moment.
Oh, sorry about that.
14%.
Yeah, I was just having my my virus updated. Virus
Why does
protection.
little Johnny keep saying 14%?
All right. Enough of this virus crap. Let's get into the good stuff, or kind of lack thereof.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but there has been a lot of cool new videos surfacing of like people talking. Like the one that I found really interesting, aliens.
Yes, yes, UAPs, UFOs, government, CIA.
So the one I found really interesting, I probably shouldn't call it aliens. It should just be UFOs because it's not necessarily aliens. But the
come on, you've jumped onto the bandwagon.
I just don't want to like hitch my wagon to little green dudes till they're waving at us. But the
they could be grey. That's true.
Yeah. Should be racist, but yeah. So the guy that took the video of the gimbal video.
Oh yeah.
Did you watch that one?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
awesome. He,
yeah, that
because
was
they
by
were
far the
rubbishing
best.
his like camera work, and why is it like,
Yeah, yeah.
going through all these different imaging things, you couldn't keep up with it, you were zoomed in
Yeah,
too
yeah.
close, stuff.
No, he just like slammed them. He's like, no, no, I had to do that. Otherwise, the Secret Service dudes would be like, or the CIA guys would be like, why didn't you double zoom it? Why
Yeah,
didn't you
yeah,
inverse the colors? Why didn't you?
yeah, yeah. Run
It's
through
like,
all the different levels of optical
yeah,
scans as well as the radar scan. The thing that
yeah.
I
He
found,
just wanted to get as much data.
yeah, but the reason why he started panicking that they were going to get onto him about that, not because it was an object in the sky, but because when he did a radar scan, it jammed him.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And that he's like, that is an act of warfare over international
Yeah,
space.
exactly.
So
Yeah, that
yeah, it wasn't
that
some
there are
random
normally
thing.
there are repercussions. Yeah,
Yeah, this was an object that was they were trying to do a radar scan on it. It jammed him. He had to
yeah,
switch to the different versions of optical view because he knew that if he didn't run through all the scans, his lab guys that were analyzing the data at the Pentagon or wherever, they would be going, "Why haven't you given us all this information? Because we need to
yeah,
know, is
exactly.
this an act of war?"
Yeah, and the other interesting thing was he was saying like me flipping through all that stuff, like zooming in, zooming out, flipping inverse and stuff,
Mm.
had nothing to do with the lock that he had on the thing, the
Yeah,
visual lock he had on.
yeah,
So that stays on there regardless.
mm.
I'm just playing with the optics.
Yeah,
It's like that doesn't affect it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and he's like a lot of the guys were saying, "Oh, I'm turning." He's like, "No, no, I was dead straight, and we were just like
yeah.
going level."
Yeah, yeah, they were maintaining altitude. They were like
Yeah,
running stable. Yeah, but
just pointing at it.
yeah, but when he was locked on this object, it suddenly veered more than a 45-degree angle change, and it accelerated like, what was it, up
Yeah.
to like Mach 3 plus or something like that? Like,
Oh, it was I think it was Mach 5 or something. It was like ridiculous. He was
yeah,
like instantaneously as
yeah,
well. It wasn't. He's
yeah,
like, so that's not how thrusters work.
yeah,
Like you don't just all of a sudden just decide you're going Mach 5.
yeah,
Like you have to. It just. And he
yeah,
said it was too fast to change for the computer to be able to
yeah,
lock on. So he was like, you saw the thing go wide to try and capture it again, but it just
yeah,
couldn't grab it.
accelerated. Yeah,
And
see, this is the thing that like he's saying it's not that the technology's crap, because
yeah,
we've got good technology. He said what the
I believe he said it
technology.
was a $6 million camera.
Exactly. My phone camera is like
Yeah,
not that expensive, but
yeah,
um,
exactly.
no, the reason why the camera is it's actually incredibly good and incredibly high tech is because what it is meant to deal with is high speed aerial combat maneuvers
Yeah,
from enemy
exactly.
vehicles. So it is meant to be able to stay on track to high speed jets flying around so that these guys can actually dogfight them.
Yeah, and
So
what did he say? It was 140 degrees, I think he had it
oh, I
from
can't
from
remember.
the cone, and
Jesus.
it left that.
Yeah, right.
So then so that's when they started banking to try and like capture it in the nose cone again,
Yeah.
and it was already gone. And then he said I can't remember what ship it was that had the 360
I can't
radar.
remember.
Like he called down to them, and they were like, "No, it's left our scopes. We don't know where it's gone." So it's
Yeah. So what they
like
were dealing with is an object that goes beyond the capacity of their high-tech sensing sensor arrays that is specifically designed to deal with high-speed aerial combat. And yeah, it jammed them
yeah,
and then
and
left
that was
their
actively
radar.
jamming them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and he said very specifically as well. The other really interesting thing, which was one of the criticisms that guy that I sent you labeled at that actual video,
Mm.
was there, there's no way like that could just be a jet from behind.
Oh, yeah. S-
Like the way that glow looks, it could just be a jet coming from behind and then it banks.
yeah.
And he was like, the guy went through all of the missions he was on, like how many, like he could recognize. He was like, definitely wasn't a bird, definitely wasn't a balloon, definitely wasn't a jet, definitely
Yeah.
wasn't a drone. Like I've seen all those things in high pressure combat situations.
Yeah.
I know what they look like
Yeah.
in all those high pressure situations. So
Yeah.
I definitely knew it wasn't that
Yeah.
because I had however long it was to just like sit there and watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, for
So
sure.
it
Yeah.
like the window of explanation was so narrowed in that conversation
Yeah.
that it left little room for anything but we don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah. It's not currently known technology.
yeah, exactly.
And
Like, there's no propulsion. There was no wings or anything. It's nuts.
yeah. Yeah, this yeah,
So
it's incredible footage of an object that we just have no idea what is. Yeah, of course we can't say aliens, and certainly that's the way like all the headings are going through the news at the moment.
yeah, well they have to.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah, they can't say, oh well, it's definitely aliens, because it's like, well,
yeah. Oh, that reminds me. The other bit that he knocked out was that it was American tech, because he was like, no, if I've filmed Black Ops American tech, they will pull me aside and debrief me, and will not release that footage
yeah,
because
right.
this footage was declassified. So he was like, that they will, if I show this to someone, they'll go through it. They'll send it up the chain of command,
Yeah.
and then it'll come back down. We need to have a conversation with your pilot because he's captured one of our secret tech. And he said that had happened to him. I don't know if you remember that, but he said like that had happened to me. I captured something that I wasn't meant to on footage, and they debriefed me on it and was like, no, you can't be releasing this. This goes into
Right.
the secret.
Yeah.
the,
The actual black
the
vault
top
thing.
secret bin, and yeah, you may never speak of it again. So it's not American tech,
Yeah.
right? So that only leaves foreign,
Canada.
Canada, yeah.
They're close, right? Who knows what they're doing up in the Arctic there?
Damn terrorist. Yeah, it only leaves a foreign government
Yeah.
or some sort of natural phenomena that no one knows about, or then something from another planet. It's like there's
Yeah.
no, I can't think of anything else, and I can't think of a natural phenomena that would jam a radar
Okay. There was the theory, because these vehicles they're suggesting that they're transmedium, so they travel through like air and water, and can travel high speeds through water. Have you seen any of those?
Yeah, I sent you that video of the underwater ones that they've been detecting.
Was it not the one that was floating above and then went below? Not that one.
No. It was like the submarines detecting underwater. They were going like.
Is that the Russian one?
Well, that one as well. The Clikovs or whatever they were, but the one above that, I think.
Okay.
It
Oh
was
yeah,
like this,
U.S. Navy has reportedly encountered underwater UFOs that move. Yeah.
And they were saying they were
like-
moving like hundreds of kilometers an hour,
Yeah.
like, flying through the water,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is frightening.
Yeah, you can't. You just can't actually move like that underwater.
Yeah,
Like not at
there's
least.
too much resistance.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And so the idea is that it's not actually an alien technology. This is a still an Earth-based technology, but it's potentially from an underwater civilization. That's
Lanterns.
yeah, Atlanteans, something like that. I mean,
Maybe we'll get to see Aquaman.
what was the one from The Boys? The Deep.
Oh, the deep.
Welcome to the club, Zip.
I've
dear.
still got to see the second season of that. I keep
Same.
forgetting to watch it.
Yeah, I got it lined up. I just haven't caught it yet.
Oh, watch Invincible.
What's that on? You can show me after. Well, I'll go
Yeah,
have a
but
look for it.
it was somewhere. What was it? It's like Hulu or something, but it's a cartoon,
Cartoon.
but it's Stephen Ewan. Yeah, the guy from Walking Dead.
All right. Yeah, just looking at that
It-
now.
I'm only up to like episode 4 or 5, and it is amazing.
Oh, yeah, it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, Amazon Prime. Yeah, I was watching another show on Hulu. What was I watching? Oh, Solar Opposites.
Oh, that's one I've been wanting to watch. That's the what's his face that did
Yeah, the Justin Roiland one.
yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's cool. I'll have some new series to catch up on. Definitely gonna need something to
just
watch
watch
while in quarantine for 2
Lockdown.
weeks. It's, like at the moment, I'm still teaching, so we're got some things to do
Via
online.
video or?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah,
online.
that's-
Yeah, they've shut all the schools until mid-July now, so that's after the actual
Oh, so
school
you'll
term
get out.
finishes.
Yeah, you'll get out before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the school term
You just don't
finishes
want to risk
on.
that human contact until you.
Oh God, no. Yeah, we're basically just gonna do self-quarantine.
It's like you don't want to be.
I think I'm getting a little bit of lag here, but yeah, I'll check that one out. Invincible.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Okay.
fortunately, I got COVID the day before I was leaving. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. I'll be lining up. Well, if the day before I was leaving is fine.
Anyway, back to aliens.
Oh yeah. All right,
Oh,
hold
that's true. You can have it in quarantine.
Yeah. How are you feeling? So,
Give it to.
here's
give
my
it to
here's my
everyone.
certificate of my clean bill of health.
Plane on the way there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so there was that guy, and I thought his talk was the best. It was only like 14 minutes, but it was like definitely the most information.
Yeah. Sorry, lagging again.
Packed. 14 minutes of talk. It was like absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And then you had
That was Jeremy Corbell interviewing him, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, so he was like thorough, like very specific on
Yeah.
every single question, getting like double answers for everything. Like, so this
Yeah,
is
'cause he set
absolutely
it
what
up
you mean.
specifically.
Ah.
Yeah, because he set it up specifically to bust all the FUD.
Yeah. Yeah, good. I'm glad he's being thorough like that. I saw
Yeah.
his face, Joe Rogan speak with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, I saw the clip.
Um,
I didn't
yeah.
see the whole thing. I just saw the clip with the alien bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've only watched maybe those guys rabbit on for quite a while, so I've only maybe watched about half
Yeah.
of it so far. Don't get me wrong. I like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I like his enthusiasm for science. I like his
He likes
pragmatic.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Joe.
No, Neil.
Oh, Neil does. Yeah. He walks around with a #1 fan T-shirt on, the arrow pointing up. Yeah.
Pretty much.
So,
Yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind him, but I find he's very talks down to you. Like it's like well, people I've seen him talk to, it's just like it could just be a symptom of talking to so many people all
Yeah.
the time. But
yeah,
answer the same question over and over again.
yeah,
But, yeah,
exactly. I haven't seen him too often just kind of relax his guard a
Mm.
bit, because he did a chat with what's the guy, the scientist? He was really
Brian Cox.
no English one, not Brian Cox, different one. Richard, was it Richard
Feynman?
Feynman,
The
maybe?
old guy?
No, not him then.
He's more of a mathematician.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, my brain is
Brian
not
Cox.
not picking it
There
up
is
at the moment.
another English physicist that goes on TV a lot. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, but like,
Green?
no, not Green. Green's cool.
Uh,
But no, he was having a chat with a particular science dude, and like he was a little bit in lecture mode still. I think
yeah,
that's just become part of his personality.
yeah,
Um, but it doesn't like detract from his love of science. Like you can tell that he does have a very scientific and factual based mind. He is very thorough with the
yeah,
explanations of everything. And so when he was on with Joe Rogan, because obviously Joe Rogan loves the UFOs, the alien
yeah.
stories, and like associating with people like what Jeremy Corbell and listening to what's that guy's name, Alex Jones or something.
Jones, yeah.
Um, these dudes are they've already bought the product. You know what I mean? They've
hmm
they've already, yep, it's definitely aliens.
Preaching to the converted.
Yeah, and so you get the opposing view quite strongly from Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
look, I don't think it is of alien origin. Um,
yeah,
it's quite possible that it's just a technology that is not been disclosed by whoever's working on it at the moment. It's what we're relying on is visual reports as well as the limitations of the technology that's observing these objects.
yeah,
So he's very much not hypothesizing an alien origin of it. He's just saying all I have are this limited number of facts, and can't extrapolate a theory from that.
yeah. Well, I find it very common for the doubters to go after the equipment,
Sure.
which is why I was saying like I found it very refreshing having the pilot talk
Yeah.
about his equipment and like what exactly he was doing with it, how well he knew it, how to use it, like what it was telling him. Like it was like it was very clear what he was saying.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you were saying, like when you lock onto something,
This
you get its heading, you get its speed, you get its like where it is, how far away it is from you. Um, and when you locked onto this one, the speed was going all over the place. It was going like point 0.2, point 0.1, point 0.4,
Oh
point
yeah.
0.7. Like it was just like
Yeah.
it wouldn't give him an accurate speed.
Yeah.
So it's like it kind of like the people that criticize the machines don't understand the machines. I think that what like obviously you need extraordinary evidence because you don't we it's an extraordinary claim, but
Sure. Yeah.
the areas they're attacking I think are much stronger than they think they are.
Yeah.
It's like everyone's like just go out with your phone and take a picture, but it's like your phone is nothing compared to this.
Yeah.
Like because everyone's used to seeing pictures from your phone like close up,
Yeah. Within a foot
maybe
of you.
like
Yeah.
20 meters away.
Oh
You
man.
take a nice picture of like a sunset or something.
Have you ever
But this
zoomed
is trying to
in on
zoom
a?
into
Yeah.
a 5 foot object from like
Exactly. Yeah.
so far away,
Exactly. Yeah.
and in like any sort of darker light than bright sunlight,
Mm.
your phone is useless.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. They just can't
So it's
handle, like, anytime I have to zoom in on a photo in order to take an image of something, the quality
yeah,
just reduces so greatly.
yeah,
They always say the best thing to do is take a full size image shot from further away and then crop, because that will
yeah.
keep the
Okay,
best resolution
yeah,
of an object. But still, you start shrinking the file size down enough to have it properly zoomed in somewhere, you lose a lot. And it's not like that's just
yeah,
taking a normal little piece of paper and trying to zoom in on this little bit. If you're taking a wide
yeah.
field
Exactly.
view and trying to zoom in on this tiny little object all the way here, you just end up with a blurry shape.
Yeah, exactly. And that's I think that's again like I mean obviously my thought can't be novel because I'm just a layman. But like,
Yeah, but I mean that's
it seems like the way they go about attacking these things
yeah,
is very much. I don't know. It just seems too amateurish. It's like they can just rattle off a few things and then dismiss it, and then
yeah,
it's like, ta-da! I disproved it, and it's like, yeah, it's
yeah,
a bit more complicated than that. Like you've got like war veterans like who use these things in war, saying no, that's nothing we've seen
yeah,
in any wars that we've been in.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. They're not just some amateur trying to look at a balloon flying through the sky. It's like I've seen balloons. This was
Yeah,
not
exactly.
that. Yeah.
And it's
But
not me going, oh, when I was 6, I saw you
yeah,
over a building and then it disappeared, and I remember it now. I can see it in my head still. It's
yeah.
like,
Proof. Go talk to the Pentagon.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just
He
completely.
just because I remembered or found it, he was talking to Richard Dawkins. So
Oh, Richard Dawkins.
yeah,
That's
not a scientist.
I
He's a
thought his name, and
yeah,
I was like, surely he wasn't talking to Richard Dawkins.
yeah. No, he did. Mostly they're just
Yeah.
blowing smoke up each other's buttholes, but
Okay.
it was all right.
Because they're both atheists as well. So.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's. I mean, I do like to hear the skeptical reviews of this information that's coming out, because it does prevent the running off to Atlanta theories from
But the
taking
really
too
important
strong a
thing
hold.
is the skeptics have to do the study.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
You know, this is the problem. It's like because Joe said it, Neil deGrasse Tyson could just dismiss it with a few random, like, what ifs, and then he never felt the need to go deeper.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that is the
like,
thing. Because, well, I mean, come on, man. It's been, what, since the 40s that the government has just been saying, this is ridiculous. Stop making these claims. This is not real. It was a weather balloon, for goodness sake, guys. Let it go.
Did you read a bunch of those ones that you sent me? The 13 million dump?
The best that I could do was, because you know how they're in that format where you can't do a search, and the guys at the Black Vault, they're changing it to a PDF format so they can go through it, and in each one they have like a little snippet saying something of interest in a particular document that they've looked at so far.
Yeah.
So I scrolled through that list. I did have a look at a few of them. There is some cool ones in there. There's others that are just like random, like it was an attached file at the end of a things just saying next meeting talk about the UFO kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I read in order. I just downloaded the one that wasn't searchable. So I wanted the original.
Damn.
And I just read. I opened each one and read them.
Jesus.
I didn't go through all of them, obviously.
Of course.
But I just I spent like a good few hours going reading through all these documents. And yeah, the one I sent you. Did you get the one that I sent you?
What?
It's under the, like, almost directly under the
Was not the UFO conference one. No, that's a video.
No, it's just like one little part.
Oh, I thought you were trying to send me an emoji that didn't have a didn't have like a proper download, or like an image that didn't have a proper download.
No,
so I was just like, what?
So
What's he
this is
sending?
the
So I just
first
ignored it. Okay.
I think this is the first email in this hilarious email chain. Which
Okay.
is, so there's this. So basically, what happens is it gets brought out that the NASA or the NSA or someone, the army or something,
Yeah.
picked up a radio signal from an unidentified source in space.
Right. Dr. Leon Davidson is on our backs again.
Yeah, this guy, right? So this amateur scientist
Yeah.
is writing in a magazine and he's following this story like doggedly. And this is like, it's almost like email before email. So it's like a paper trail of all these letters.
Mm.
These army officials and stuff are like going back and forth about what are they going to do with this dude? Because they're like, we told him it was already sorted and it was actually some other like transponder, and now he wants to know what transponder it was and when it happened and blah blah blah, and he wants to hear a recording of the noises, and we don't have that, and they're just like, what do we do? Like, who do we send this to? How do we close this off?
Yeah.
And so then they like send it to this guy above them, who then gets involved and gets really pissed off that he's involved, and he's like, I'm not doing anything more. There's nothing more I can do. I'm sorry. Case closed. Write whatever you want in the story.
Yeah.
That's basically what he resolved. But then the guy writes this like hit piece on these guys in the actual science magazine, saying like, all this, they refused, they were covering it up, they were
That's hilarious.
it went on for like 15 documents of
Jesus.
just these exasperated army dudes like, no,
Yeah.
you deal with it. No, you deal with it. But at the end, it never came over whether the sounds were real or fake, or they were just covering it up. They were just
Yeah,
like,
right.
we don't want to deal with this. Like, we've told him it was like a
Yeah.
mistake, and he won't listen to us, and now we're just like stuck with this guy hassling us for like.
Yeah.
And it was months, man. It was like months of these like
Yeah.
emails. Like, well, they're not emails because they don't have email, but like just they look like
Correspondence, yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like telegrams or telegraphs or whatever they were sending, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was just so hilarious.
Well, this is like certainly great that there was people out there doggedly pursuing this information, but it's also
Yeah.
been what's led to such a difficulty actually approaching the subject as something legitimate now.
Yeah.
Because
Well, that's why I ended up. Sorry, that's why I actually ended up stopping reading them, because a lot of them are just like, X said they saw this.
yeah.
No, there was this one where like one of the sultans or something, or like someone high up in Iraq or Iran or somewhere, saw something flying over in the sky, and reported it to the Navy or the Army, and it was actually a satellite
All right.
deorbiting, and they had to inform them. But you can look it up and you could see the exact date, because it was released like. So you can actually do a lot of Google cross-referencing when you like, if you get the date and you get what the heading is, you can cross-reference that with people claiming to have seen stuff and things like that, because it gets in the newspapers and stuff a lot, and they've got the old captured newspapers and things like that.
Okay, I mean, it's good. I do believe that like 95% of all the sightings are explainable.
Yeah, they have to be. It's
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that they're trying out in space that not everybody's informed of. Like one of the articles that I was reading, that was just basically flat out debunking all of it, just saying it was one of those catchy headlines that says, Pentagon says it's definitely not aliens. Like, well, I mean, the report hasn't gone out yet, but let's have a look what it has to say. And it's just straight up saying like long cylindrical looking object. Well, actually, if you look at a rocket launching at this type, where you get the separation of its fuel tanks from the actual main body, and if once it hits a certain part of the atmosphere, that separation balloons out into the atmosphere, crystallizing a certain amount, and you get this spherical looking object for a few brief seconds, and then it dissipates, and then the exhaust plumes look like this shape, and the rocket things look like that shape, and it explains it all away. And I'm like, yeah, okay, but I mean, the one that they said it was about 2 kilometers long, looked like a flying silver cigar, 2 kilometers long, and that doesn't sound like a rocket. unless like you're completely misjudging the distance of the object.
Yeah.
But if it's that huge, you should be able to notice any identifying markings on it, or like at least something to better identify. And it shouldn't also be able to hover or move at high speeds in random directions. But
yeah, exactly. It should be spiraling and crashing.
yeah, or have a huge exhaust plume as well.
Yeah, well, this is the problem, is that everything before these videos are pretty much just rubbish, like compared to what these are.
Oh yeah, for sure. But it's because of that, and because of the government has been flatly denying it, that they've just been able to. It's not so much that you need to discount a view anymore. It's that you need to be basically bordering on crazy to even say that you did see something.
Yeah.
And so as soon as you open your mouth UFO, everyone's like, is he a UFO guy? Is that who he is now? Is he the UFO guy? Is that what he is? As opposed to just somebody that saw something. And so
exactly.
It's that similar attitude that's coming out. And it did feel a bit like that with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Just kind of, it's probably not alien. I'm just going to rule it straight out like that. It's explainable by everything we know. And it did give you that sense it's because we know everything already.
Yeah, Musk did the same thing to Rogan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't see
He was
that
like,
one.
well, in human history, the amount of sensory capability has gone up this way, and the amount of alien that has been photographed is down here still. So the correlation isn't there. And,
He does speak like he's on a ventilator.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So it was.
I think Elon Musk is hitting those neurotropics too hard. Like he gives me the sense of, have you ever like drunk a bunch of coffee and then had your speech start going a little bit stilted, like where you're just so caffeinated that you're like trying to get an idea out and it's a little bit hard to process everything all at once because you're like. You just have too much.
Yeah, that's kind of like the beginning of the D&D games. They're like,
yeah, and then you just
let's go.
But I've seen people that do that when they overstimulate with that kind of stuff, caffeinated neurotropics.
What was that movie?
What's it to do with?
With the pills, the nootropics.
Not that. What was it? With Bradley, something or other.
Yeah, like not enlightened or something, but it was like something like that.
Yeah.
He was taking the clear pills, like.
Yeah. He becomes a genius.
And he like uses the imperfect ones to then create perfect ones.
Yeah. Exactly. He builds his brain into a machine that can build a better pill. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, I get that it does give you a certain amount of clarity and focus. But if you watch earlier videos of Elon Musk, he's a bit more chilled out, whereas now he's like, and then this is the thing, and then there is this, and there is this. And it's like, yeah, dude, you either need to sleep or lay off the drugs for a while because you're looking a bit blown out of proportion there. Probably both, to be honest. But like. I don't know. It's like you said, every other bit of evidence before that is a little bit iffy. But the stuff that's coming out because of the Navy actually saying, yes, this is legitimate. I mean, these are from back 2004 and then 2010 or something, and then 2017 or 2012 was it? And so like some are old, but some are reasonably new or recent, and so it means that the tech observing it is also pretty state of the art.
Yeah, exactly. So there's no, like, it's not like they're, again, like I said, they're not on their iPhones.
Yeah.
They're not like, hey, let's take a quick snap of like a random like thing. It's like we're locking on with radar, and we're trying to lock on with what was that thing called?
The optics.
Yeah, what was it called? The CPAC or something?
Oh, yeah, I can't remember those terms.
I think it was a CPAC. I really can't remember, but yeah,
Mm.
it's kind of like this. There's not much else there than that. It's like unless you're flying right next to it
Mm.
and
Yeah.
like whip out a 50 megapixel camera, you're not getting a better picture of it yet.
Yeah. Yeah, and those things don't seem to want to hang around.
Yeah. Before you know, there might be one out there, but they just have it's all classified. So it's like,
Yeah, that's true too. Um, yeah, there is that. Um,
but there's
the
just no way of knowing.
well, the other thing that's coming from that, because it is like pretty legitimate sources and backed by Pentagon. Yes, they're definitely not saying it's aliens. They're just saying it's unidentified. It is an unidentified object.
Yeah.
Um, it's loosening the lips of other people that are credible,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Exactly.
that's the interesting part that's coming out of it. Is there's quite a few people high up that are willing to go, you know what, yeah, this stuff is it's
Mm.
pretty hard to explain.
Did you see the guy getting questioned at the press conference?
Is that the NASA
And they're
one?
like, yeah, I can't remember which one it was. It was just one guy, and
Oh,
they were like, "Do you know the reporters like, have you heard of any bodies and craft being recovered at any time?" And the guy's like, "Oh, well, we'll have to talk about it, blah 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 blah," like with his like big smirk on his face.
Jesus.
Um, but you can just say no. Like you don't have to like prevaricate.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If it was me in those shoes and a weather balloon had just crashed, and then some journalists are up like, "Was it aliens, bro?" I'd
Mm.
be like, "Nah, it wasn't aliens." And everyone would be like, "He smiled. He went no, and then he
Yeah,
smiled
yeah,
and laughed." You
that's
know what I'm
true.
saying? It's like, I'm like, no, it was a weather balloon, people. Come on, it's a weather balloon. Like, I don't believe him. Um,
Deciding something.
yeah,
Yeah.
just I would have trouble keeping a reasonably straight face. Like even that
Mm.
was it the current chick that she's in the Biden administration, and
Yeah,
she's
for Biden, yeah.
the redhead lady, right?
Mm.
And they asked her some questions. She just started laughing about it, and then like had to come
Yeah.
back later. And I was like, sorry, I was being serious. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's just
But again, all she said was, "You'll have to ask the other guys. Like, we're not dealing with that."
yeah. She laughed and did it. I get her.
Yeah,
She's
it's
she's the alien.
yeah. We just have to wait for the report. There's nothing else we can do.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know what's happening. I think the news cycles, because I'm getting I've put out an alert for any news to do with UAPs and Pentagon releases and stuff. Not just for UAPs, but um, it's like watching the news cycle get excited and then deflated about it before anything's happened, because it's not happening fast enough.
Yeah,
So they're
yeah,
just like,
exactly.
what's coming out? And all these headlines are blowing up about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Basically, they're just copying the same one article that they've all read
Yeah,
from
exactly.
somebody else.
Yeah, well, that's where Corbell's been really clever. Like he's just drip, 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 drip to
Yeah,
build that
yeah,
like ferment it, get it like percolating,
yeah.
get those people like
Let all
frothing
this,
at the mouth to for anything.
yeah, all the skeptics can then like harass it and smash it, and then he
Yeah,
comes back, debunks, and then, but
yeah,
here's
yeah,
the next
exactly.
video, guys.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So he's really been good at the marketing side of things.
yeah,
It's like
yeah.
quite impressive.
He is good, but yeah. So these headlines, right? They're exploding. They're loving it, but then nothing happened. Nothing's been released because it's going to be maybe another week or two, right? Like I don't actually know
Yeah.
when the address is taking place to Congress or the Senate.
No, they
or-
haven't really. It's like this month, so it has
Yeah.
to be within the next 3 weeks. But there's
Yeah. No fixed time yet.
yeah.
And so they've gone up, and then they've immediately decided it's definitely not UFOs, and then that became the next turn. So there was a bunch that went
Yeah.
out saying alien reports are going to be delivered out to the Pentagon in front of everyone. And then the next one goes, Pentagon is definitely saying there's no UFOs. There's no UFOs in the sky, guys. Nothing. And then it's moved kind of like sort of halfway back between the two of those extremes now, and it's like going,
That's hilarious.
we're not quite sure what it is. We're still waiting for the report, but you know, it's not saying that it's not, but it's also not saying that it's not. You know, like, okay, guys.
Kill me.
Yeah. So, I mean, what they really should be doing is actually researching the documents that were released themselves. You know, why not actually
help.
go through them
Yeah.
and say, here's what I have actually discovered through the
Yeah, it's
document.
interesting that not most people are doing second-hand journalism.
Yeah.
Like they're not going to the source material, and like a proper journalist
Yeah,
should
it's-
be.
Yeah.
I'm going to the archives, and
Yeah.
I'm going to sit in there for 3 weeks and pick up anything I can.
Well, I mean, even if you want to just drip feed it out, like, you know, read 2 documents today, these are the highlights
Yeah.
of them, gonna dig into it some more, guys. I would read that. I would follow that every day. I do go to the vault and
Yeah,
scroll
it's very
through these
weird.
documents to see what they've
I'm
like.
very surprised.
But yeah, because they're effectively waiting for somebody else to do the journalism and then just rehash what's been spoken about already. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
And
yeah, I have to stay away from half of the news feeds out there. The problem is, if I want to like actually, because there could be someone giving these updates, but if I want to create an alert to find that stuff, I virtually have to go outside of Google, because whatever Google's caching is on its pages, it's not getting a good cross-section of information that's on there.
you've been bubbled.
Yeah, very much.
So the Google has been like, he clicks on these ones. Let's give him more of these ones.
Yeah.
And then,
Man,
yeah.
the ads that I'm getting on my phone at the moment, like I tried to order a meal the other day, and what was it I was doing? Because I was looking up universities a while back. It's just like I'm trying to order, like, I don't know, a burger or whatever, and my food delivery app is popping up an ad. While you're waiting for the food to be accepted, have you thought about these universities? I'm just like, oh, jeez. Stop searching everything I click and feeding it back. I don't
It's like-
want this targeted advertising all the time.
Well, it's like, why would you want to get your university off your food delivery app?
Yeah, exactly. I
How
went to a
did you
reliable
choose your
source.
university?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I was waiting for my pizza.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the app said, "What about this one?"
Yeah, it's too invasive. It's really, I don't need
gross,
that level. But what was I gonna rant about that? Yeah, well, it is impacting the way that I try and search up news and information, and it's a bit frustrating, I must admit, trying to find decent information out
Falling
there.
off my chair.
Okay.
I'm like literally like, my chair is like sliding me forward. Sorry.
Oh.
I'm just like, every 5 seconds I'm like moving on my chair because I'm like going.
Is it one of those like secret exercise chairs? Just-
Yeah, maybe. No, that's one of
So
those,
you've
like,
been burning calories
one of
today, Simon.
It's like those old office chairs.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like, you can't move the seat forward, the back forward, without the seat tilting forward.
Oh right.
So it sort of goes like this, and so you either have the back in the position I want,
Yeah.
or the seat tilted like this.
There was this.
Which is-
What was it? There was a. There was
so
a.
now I'm leaning way back because my seat is like,
All right.
so my seat's flat now, but the back is like, I want to like stare up at the ceiling.
Yeah. there was this show. What was it? Better Off Ted, I think it was called. And these
Get off Ted. How do I know that?
it had Portia de la Rossi in it, Ellen's wife. I don't know if you know who that is,
Ted.
but like they were running this company, and they were just trying to come up. It was an R&D company, and
Yeah.
anyway, one of the things they had in it was they had uncomfortable chairs for their employees. So they
Yeah,
specifically.
that's. I was thinking of this. I couldn't remember where I heard that from.
All right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
They specifically had these chairs
yeah.
that it was super uncomfortable. And it's just like, but because of that agitation, you stayed more focused because you didn't get too relaxed.
That's
Um,
right.
but I think it had something to do like that because they were shifting so much. They ended up getting up a static charge buildup or something, and things were randomly getting set on fire. I can't actually remember how the
Yeah.
story went from
No, I
that. But
just remember the netting on the back
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah. That was the one.
irritating your back, and it
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah, yeah, but you could never get too comfortable, so your productivity
yeah,
went up. So you were at
yeah,
that
exactly.
optimal frustration level, which is
It's like here's a real one.
oh,
Um, this guy invented toilets that are slightly tilted, so you have to like engage. You're basically like engaging your muscles to stay on the toilet. So you can't actually stay on there for more than a few minutes. And it's to stop employees from like taking long toilet breaks.
oh my God. That's
You're basically bracing like with your leg muscles. And
what
eventually your leg muscles
kind
turn
of
to
a
jelly and you
monster feels the need so badly to
yeah.
control their employees' break time. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. I know I've got explosive diarrhea, but I
Yeah,
can't sit on the seat any longer. I'm just gonna have to do it in my pants
yeah, spray and pray.
and on the wall.
That's right. I wouldn't even flush if that's the way they were going to treat me. I'd just be like,
I
you know
know.
what? It was so uncomfortable in there, I couldn't turn around to flush, so I just left. Good luck.
My legs are too sore.
I had to crawl out. I couldn't reach the button. Oh, that's such bad
Yeah,
behavior.
it's terrible.
Um,
Anyway, I think we've
D and
gone
D
on
wrap
enough.
up.
Yeah, we'll do the D&D wrap up and we'll get it under an hour and a half.
Yep.
I
Oh,
reckon.
we've only going 57 minutes, so we can keep them to an hour. It's good.
Really? Oh, that's because we started a bit later. Sorry, I'm going on the time. I'm looking at it's
Oh,
like
yep.
it's 9:45 here, so I'm like, oh, we started at 8:30, but actually we started later. So
Yeah,
yeah,
just a
no,
little
we're
bit
good.
later. But yeah, D&D wrap up. So
Okay, let's do it.
we had one of our members leave due to,
Dun dun dun.
I think he just time commitments, which is understandable. I've had
His
to,
roster changed.
yeah.
He started having to get up at 2 a.m. So
Oh, good God. Yeah. No, you
yeah,
can't do that. Yeah, I mean,
and then he was trying to stay up till 2 a.m. on the one night that he had that he wasn't doing anything, and then the next day he had to then switch to waking up at 2 a.m. So I think it was
no, that's,
kind of killing him.
yeah, you can't do that. I had to drop some of the games I was playing because of just time commitment stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is like we've been locked into this game for how long now? Like
Nearly a year and a half, I reckon.
year
I,
and a
I
half.
don't know exactly, but
Yeah,
I'm guessing it's about a year and a half.
because I know I went into lockdown in March last year, and it was pretty much not long after that we started playing. So
Yeah, so probably a year and a quarter then.
yeah,
Yeah,
could have been like March,
bit over.
April, somewhere around then.
Yeah.
But it's been consistent, and yeah, you kind of do have to set aside that time to play.
Well,
And if,
again, like my theory, as I always say, is the mind will go to where happiness is.
oh sure, yeah,
So if you're happy doing it,
yeah,
you will
yeah,
make the
you'll
time.
make the time for
There's
it.
no like you can only do that sort of loyalty, oh, I feel bad sort of thing for a little while. and
Yeah.
then eventually you just like
Yeah.
can't hold it anymore, man. I gotta go,
Yeah.
which is basically what happened to him. But
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the suffering
as
was
well,
outweighing the happiness there because
yeah,
the sleep.
exactly, and that's just what the mind does. Like that's
Yeah.
what your mind does. It doesn't. You can't. You can't have it both ways.
Not me. I go for the suffering. Love it.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Yeah. So
Yeah. So he's had to drop out, which is sad. It's great fun playing with him, but we've got a new person taking over. However, we didn't really get much to know or meet him because our introduction to where he was to immerse ourselves in the middle of the chaos realm. So like
limbo.
yeah, I don't know where it is. I know it's chaotic.
Yeah, well, it is the chaos realm, but it's
Oh yeah, right. In limbo.
they call it limbo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, so well, we stepped through some roiling vortex thing, chasing my character's brother because character's family had been murdered, as well as most
it
of
ended
his
up being
village.
like a perfect segue for him to not join you.
Yeah,
He's just
yeah,
like, nah,
exactly. Yeah,
I'm not going in there.
yeah,
I didn't have to kill him. I didn't have to like do some weird like.
yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
But we stepped through and immediately was like just floating in some chaotic space and got immersed in water, encapsulated in water, and then tornadoes, and basically had no idea how to exist properly in that realm until eventually one of our party members figured out you could will yourself to do stuff and will the environment to become more stable.
Well, he kind of willed himself to move first.
Yeah, yeah. And then started realizing, or one of the other party members started realizing that they could
Yeah,
control the environment
control
a bit more.
their environment, basically.
But that took a
Which
while
led
to
to
get
some
there.
hilarious attempts at like
Yeah.
recreating places that you guys have been to, which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah. I tried to make a horse to ride. Just ended up with meat.
Yeah, and
then,
tried to
oh God, bring back
tried
my
to
family.
teleport, like everyone just sit here and think of Daggerford and teleport back. And it's like you're in the room, and then you're like, guys, go downstairs, and it's just like a fragment of the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, ah, damn it.
So, yeah, so that took quite a while to get to that point.
Yeah.
And when we finally did, our new player showed up.
Yeah.
And we don't know who he is, what's he's about, or basically, I've obviously already forgotten his name because I'm terrible with names. I just know that Nullis. What is he, Elven?
Yep.
Yeah, so we just know he's some sort of elven something or other who's hanging out in this realm with his master. And so I figured out that it was a bunch of, I wrote it down, but I can't remember the name of them, beings that killed off my clan and the frost giants and everyone. Faerun?
Yeah.
Faerun.
Yeah, something like that.
And they live in a particular part of this realm, but it's highly dangerous to even try and go there and interact or fight them and kill them. Of course, my character's brother is still hell-bent on doing exactly that. Sort of tried to convince him to not do that, and then we're heading off to find well, I'm pretty sure the rest of the group wants to just get out of this place.
Yeah, you guys are all heading to the Githzeri
the city
stronghold, basically their main city, Shakit Law.
Yeah, so we're
to find a passage out of here.
Yeah, so trying to find out if there's any way to at least kill some of these things before we go. But the reality is, I don't think the rest of the group wants that so hard. So I may have to push that for a bit of role playing or something. But yeah, it's not the problem is it's not a particularly good realm to exist in, and my character is not a wizard. He's he's a fighter mainly with a few little bit of low-level cleric abilities. So he's not a big thinker. He's more like, give me something to hit and kill, and I'll do that.
Yep.
And that's it. Whereas now it's like, I got to think up a way of attacking something in a realm I don't understand. And it's just like, maybe I'll wait for them and try and hunt them down if they ever appear in the other Faerun again, like the Sword Coast.
Yeah. Prime material plane.
Yeah, because this place is bananas. But yeah, I don't know anything about the new player properly yet.
Yeah.
What his backstory
I was really trying to make the entry into the realm very realistic. As realistic as I could think of. Because I was trying to make it... Because that is exactly what happens in this realm. There's this like base substance that just like is all the elements, and it just manifests into different things like constantly. And so I was kind of using a bit of an artistic license where it would like manifest around you in terms of, and like I was sort of like using you guys like more like orderly angels that were like creating some sort of order around you. But just because you weren't willing it directly, it was just like forming random stuff as opposed to
a stable environment or
what you could do later.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean it was nightmarish, and I'm pretty sure nobody likes it in there.
I'm glad that came across, because it was kind of, I really wanted that to come across.
Yeah, and that came through.
Yeah, because this is an incredibly dangerous realm, and your chance of survival is very low.
Yeah, and the other major flaw with that entire space is that it offers, or it puts in a bunch of chaotic elements to spell casting.
Yeah,
and like like I can be a reasonably good front like meat wall, but the main strength of our group comes from the spellcasters to do large amounts of damage while I absorb hits. And if they can't operate like that, it's we lose our main advantage for combat, because they're no good in hand to hand, really.
Yeah, well, I gave you kind of an oracle like that lady that you guys met. To ask questions about it, but no one was really interested. They were just like, how do we get out of here?
Yeah, exactly. Our encounter with the realm was like, this place really sucks. It actually really sucks here, and we can't do anything. Let's get out.
Yeah, so I was kind of like hoping people would ask more around.
Yeah, because clearly they were casting spells and
yeah,
like she was doing healing magic and whatever.
She wasn't really casting spells. She had a few illusions, but nothing amazing. She was mostly a monk.
Right. She's just concentrating to make the realm stable.
Yeah, she was just using her ability to keep this rock stable. Like you guys are on a smaller level. But because she had a greater ability at it, she could
make a larger area. Right. Well, there's no way my character will figure any of that out.
No, and so there's like specific feats that have been created just for that. So like there's like Archon and like certain other ones that like you are a master at like stabilizing realms and stuff like that.
Right. So if you're actually going to run a campaign in there, you would.
Yeah, exactly.
Have characters built.
Because you all jumped in the swirling, dangerous vortex. It led me to read 2 weeks worth of Limbo, and what Limbo was and what it does, and.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody actually wanted to, but my character's brother did, and I was like,
yeah.
He's pretty much like the last surviving member, and he's got the family's sword heirloom, so probably going to need to go save him. Otherwise, we've got nothing left of the clan.
No, that is true. It is a fair enough character development for yourself.
Yeah.
And, yeah. I just thought everyone else would stop you.
Nah. It seems like they step out of the way when Prince gets his mind made up on something. They're just like, You shouldn't go.
And
No, I
Esmeralda was
definitely
just like,
should.
I love going through portals. I was like,
She was the worst.
you can,
V at
yeah,
least like
that's
tried
a,
to do persuasion and all
yeah,
that stuff, and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
and like he actually kind of did he charm person me?
Yeah, either you or the brother. I can't remember.
I know he
But
charmed the
yeah, but
brother,
then
but no, he did
he
charm
tried to
person
charm the
me.
brother,
Yeah,
but then the randomness of the magic gave
yeah.
him confusion,
Oh,
so he
that's
lost the
right.
concentration.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
But yeah,
I know he like did do some convincing on my character, but it was
yeah,
not. I don't know. It wasn't quite strong enough to stop him, or any counter arguments he couldn't seem to unpick, and
yeah.
so
I
it
mean, it's
just
fair enough, and it made sense logically, like
yeah,
thematically, it made sense.
yeah.
So
But
I
yeah.
just don't think you guys were quite prepared for what was going to happen.
Oh God, no.
Yeah,
No. I mean, unless look, the only thing that would keep us in that realm is if there's some sort of decent reward that comes with the risk of being in there.
yeah,
And
exactly. Which there isn't really in yet. Like, yeah, you guys haven't seen anything.
no, we've just
So,
seen horrifying danger,
yeah,
and
which
yeah,
there is everywhere in this run.
yeah, yeah. So I think we're probably just gonna leave.
Yeah, it's
um,
a lot of the stuff I was reading was like, this section is written for level 15 characters,
oh,
and I was like,
Jesus.
okay,
What are we, level 9 now though?
9. Yeah,
That's a fair way to go up still.
yeah, it is. There's another like 3 levels of spells, so
Yeah, Jesus.
it's like basically
Yeah.
getting to 8th level spells or something ridiculous.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, right. Yeah. No, we're not ready for that sort of stuff.
No.
Hopefully be able to get out alive.
Mm.
I think we're getting to the point where
Yeah,
everyone's like,
I'm trying to follow the rules as best as possible without bending them to not kill you.
yeah. Well, that's look. To be honest, that's fine. I've seen games where people get up to a reasonable level and that character dies.
Yeah.
And it's actually kind of it's a little bit of a relief and a breather because you don't have to stay stuck in that character type. You can be a bit more adventurous and come up with
Yeah.
something else, which is nice. The only difficult part is that you do lose some of the intensity for the story that that character would
Yeah.
have brought into that role.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
And I like for me it's just like I'm trying to be the neutral what's happening based on what you guys do.
yeah,
So it's like I don't want to like I don't want to go hard and go like, oh, I'm trying to kill you. It's like I want to go,
yeah,
oh, you made that choice. Well, unfortunately, that
Yeah.
led to this. Like,
yeah.
I
Step through that
like,
dangerous
like
portal,
basically
did you? Oh.
yeah, I was like,
I mean, there was
well, you guys
lightning
don't know
shooting
anything
out of
about
it. Yeah.
and this is actually what happens when you go in there. If you don't know how to like will your environment around you,
Yeah.
that's basically what happens.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I did tone it down a little bit. Like I didn't have like sulfuric acid and like 'cause it can change into all sorts of stuff. Like,
oh, Jesus. Yeah.
but it you know, like luckily you didn't get the boiling water or like you had one fireball I think floated around V, but he's immune to fire, so it was okay.
Yeah.
But
Well, my character's brother did. What he got stuck in like hot air or something like that.
yeah,
And
he
then he got
stuck
in.
in like basically a convection oven,
Jeez, and then a block of ice, and so he
and
just
then it
kind
just
of
like
just kind of died.
and killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have got a reasonable
Nearly
amount of
actually
healers
killed
though, so we're doing all right. But
Yeah.
but
It,
yeah,
like nearly actually killed him. I think he was like 1 and 2 on his like one failed, 2 passed death save
Jesus,
before he got out of it.
that's a bit close. But yeah, it's not the end of the world because I think we're not. I mean, I'm not married to the character so much. I think it's more like I like the game. So if I had to come back as something else, so be it.
Yeah,
but-
I'm really enjoying being in Limbo because I had all these like threads in Faerun, and you guys jump through the portal and they all just disappear. I was like, oh, I can just make up new stuff. Like, Like awesome. So
Yeah.
it's like I got to like just do random because this is like a random realm, so it's like random creativity as opposed to like it has to make sense in the prime material plane. Why people would do this?
Yeah, right.
This place doesn't really have to make sense.
Well, I can probably say don't. It's probably not likely to invest too much story into this place because I'm pretty
No,
sure V
I'm
and
not.
Esmeralda are hell bent on getting out of there, and yeah, I don't think Prince is one for. Hey, let's explore this crazy,
Yeah, yeah.
nothing makes sense land.
It's very funny that like they're definitely the least adventurous.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
it's like, is it worth my time? No, not really. Do I want to save these people? No, not really.
yeah. Oh, it looks
Is there
dangerous
some
down there.
gold?
I'm gonna go
I'll
away.
get the gold. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I won't. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been fun. But I've had fun like creating storylines for them because it's like very
Mm.
challenging.
Yeah. Yeah, 'cause my guy's pretty straight down the line. He's like the noble hero kind of thing. Um,
Mm.
lawful good.
Yeah, that's why I like that's why I brought your family back into it because it
Yeah.
was like a very easy
Yeah.
like loop into that.
Yeah. Yeah. There was no question about what he would do with that one. He's
Yeah,
pretty
and I
black and
really
white in
thought you
regards
guys
to
were
that.
gonna rescue them and be heroes, but
Oh man, we were like within a day of catching up with that group of
yeah, it
giants.
was gonna be. You literally had one day in the forest, and then you were gonna get there.
That was just yeah, and then just trapped inside that sphere for 2 weeks. Pop out.
Yeah,
I was like, well, your family's all dead. It's like, oh,
yeah,
oh.
and that was the other thing. I couldn't do anything about it because I was
No, of course not.
like, the plan was it was like, yeah, he's gonna. They're taking him back. He's gonna inject them with the babies, and they've got 6 days from that point. So I had a timer in my head, and you guys like basically by going to the knolls and rescuing your brother,
Mm,
you got some extra muscle, but then you would delay a day. So it's like you were gonna still get there in time,
yeah,
but people would have probably been already impregnated. So then it was like instead of having all your family there, they were gonna be like because what happens is when this thing injects its young into you,
yeah.
you just you go unconscious and you just float like a little bit off the ground.
Jesus.
So there's going to be this awesome visual of your whole village just like shelled and just floating around
Oh
the
Jesus.
portal
Oh Jesus.
as the frost giants are like guarding, waiting for the hatchlings. And then once those hatched, it then impregnated the frost giants. But it even had time for that because it's only a 6 day incubation. So it was like 6 days, 6 days, and then get in
Yeah.
the portal.
Beautiful.
And the other thing was there's a
Jesus.
capstone on that portal, and the frost giants were trying to break through it. So you guys were going to come in, and it wasn't even going to be open yet. You were going to see frost giants hacking away at this like massive stone, trying to break it and break open this portal.
Yeah, as opposed to walking into a slaughterhouse and
Yeah,
finding my entire village and family dead.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
How bizarre is that? It's like
man.
completely different scenarios. Like it
Yeah.
was just like
Well, yeah, and you couldn't even pick that because it was just a random roll from Guinness playing around with the
yeah,
sphere object that you'd
yeah,
given him, and he's just like,
yeah,
he just vanishes. Oh God, what happens? All right, let's go find him,
yeah.
and
And
then
it's that like yeah, it's just that one random thing.
if we hadn't have
And see that
slept
whole
in that
sorry,
if we hadn't have slept in that realm where the dragon was,
you would have been fine. You'd have just been like half a day or something. Because I was counting roughly in my head. You guys took about 3 hours to get through to the dragon and fight it.
yeah, right.
So it's like, oh, it's been like 3 days. So you still had like one more day in the forest, and then you would have still got in time.
Oh,
But they would have like started hatching probably like 2 days later.
yeah, But dragon bashed us so badly we were afraid to go forward
Yeah.
because it was like, if we
Yeah,
encounter
exactly.
anything else, we're dead.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we're gonna
So I
rest
was
and
like,
heal.
I was screaming in my head like, just get out. But no.
Yeah.
See?
We
But see,
suc-
I'm just showing you a little bit behind the scenes because I
yeah,
want you to see like
yeah,
that's how I'm running it. Like I'm
yeah. You got to, right?
like the bad guys or what's happening. They have an intention and a goal,
Yeah,
and they're trying to get and do their shit. And
yeah,
it's like you either stop them or you don't.
yeah.
But either way, that's what happens.
Yeah, well, I
So
mean, look, you set us on enough quests where if we don't do it in the time limit, things die. It kind of does
mm,
force you to sometimes push yourself, get those exhaustion points up because we got to
yeah,
keep pushing forward, and because if we don't, everything is actually going to die.
yeah, because it's too easy to allow the characters to dictate
Yeah,
because that's too computer game like.
yeah,
Like that's a computer game.
yeah,
It's like the quest is on hold until the character decides he wants to do it.
yeah.
Like,
That's
no,
right.
no, no, no. Like
Yeah,
we're in D&D land where
yeah. There are multiple plot lines happening at once, and the longer you take,
yeah,
the more they evolve. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And I really once I hit on that idea for how to play D&D, that's all I do because it's like there's no it gives the most realism
mm,
and it gives you guys the most freedom.
yeah,
It's like you guys can go, I don't want to do it, and you guys can go off, but it'll happen.
yeah, yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I really like it.
yeah. I
I think
mean,
that's
if you look at it, like good TV shows do that, right? You make a choice. Say, I'm imagining shows like Supernatural or Buffy or whatever. You make a choice, something happens, and then because that thing happened, the storyline shifts, and you have to now deal with this new problem that's arisen because of that.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
it's yeah, it's not the like this is what's always going on. It's just like, oh, now this new problem has come up, and
Yeah,
you may have to re-encounter that again later on, or you will need to resolve it now or something. But basically, your choice has a consequence.
yeah, because normally in TV, it's the hero gets there just in time,
Yeah,
and it's like, no, you guys could have got there way before. You guys could have, if you guys just sprinted there
mm,
and got there even before the giants, you could have set a trap in the forest and stopped them. You
yeah,
could have like got there just after the giants before they got impregnated, and you could have got like freed people and got them to help
yeah,
and had more villages and like the king and stuff to fight.
yeah,
Like I had a lot of different scenarios where I was like, they could do this, they could get there. Like it's like there was a lot of different options, but the worst one happened because of one thing.
yeah, yeah. A random side
Yeah,
event, and we
exactly.
just got to live with that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean, in
but
some, I don't know
character
what
development.
I don't know what that's gonna do to Prince. Is like his entire family is now dead. His entire reason for being out and adventuring is also gone with it. It's like,
Yeah,
what have I got left to prove? There's no one to prove anything
yeah.
to anymore. So yeah,
You gotta think about it.
maybe he stays as a cleric. I don't know.
Mm.
That's actually a tough one. I really don't know where a warrior like that would go.
Mm.
Hmm. I have to think up something. Anyway, that's for another
No,
time.
cool, bro.
Yes, we will desperately await the release of the uh, talk with the Pentagon,
Yeah,
and we will catch up with that and let the people know.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
awesome, man.
all right,
Well,
I'll
yeah,
catch
I'll
you.
catch up with you if the thing drops beforehand. We'll have another one, like an emergency one.
Sure.
But
Yeah. Yep.
yeah, if it doesn't, we'll just see you in 2 weeks.
Yep. No worries. All right. Catch you later.
And I'll see you on Saturday, obviously.